Damn! Bandai has actually done it this time! Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another Gunpla review, or is it even a Gunpla review anymore? This right here is the Figurized Standard Build Divers Diver Nami, and like I just mentioned, this is a Figurized Standard, basically like those Dragon Ball kits. But this time, it's a Gundam themed one, and believe it or not, it's fantastic. As usual, this video would not be possible without those awesome people over at HobbyLink Japan, so if you do want a Diver Nami of your own, then check out that link down there in the description. Now on to the review. If you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you know exactly how I felt about those last few Gundam Girl kits. Buy one for each of your friends.
Garbage.
Well, not anymore. Bandai has literally nailed it this time. At this price point, you will not get a better Mecha Girl anywhere. And honestly, considering the ones I have looked at before, Armored Girls Project, Megami Device and whatnot, none are particularly as well engineered as this right here on the whole. So sure, they may come with more, but in general, this just feels better. Honestly, if Bandai keep using this as a base, build on top of it and keep the price point low, then this right here is the Kotobukiya killer. As for the negative points, or should I say negative point, of course the biggest issue here is the color, but that is usually the case with these kind of kits. There is a lot of color correcting stickers in here, and without them, it looks a bit on the blank side. There's stickers for everything, the red parts, the yellow parts, some of the black parts, the shoulders, the head, and of course, the worst ones are always the eyes. These never, ever look right. The way I have it right here, this took me literally 15 minutes with some Citadel paints and washes, and honestly, with another 30 minutes or so, there would be absolutely no need for stickers whatsoever. The base is perfect, so all it takes is a little bit more effort to finish this off, and it is totally worth it. Beyond the stickers, however, everything about this kit is fantastic. The proportions are great, they absolutely killed the face, it looks great. And all those botchy, evil, horrible aspects of the Fumina days are long gone. If Fumina was a demon, then Nami right here is a saint. Thankfully, Fumina and company are now in a landfill in Japan, where they belong. Lastly, moving on to some size comparisons, and one thing they did with this, which I'm glad they did, is they reduced the size compared to the high-grade Fumina-S kits from before. Still, the scale of this is a little bit larger than your standard 1/12 scale action figure like a Tamashii Nations or a Figma, or even Kotobukiya's Megami Device line of kits. But it's not as gargantuan and bobble-headed and weird as the older high-grade Gundam Girls, so it does look a lot better and fits in a lot better with an action figure collection. So there's the Figurized Standard Diver Nami with everything that she comes with. And I'm just going to mention right here, right now, that you may see 3 alternate hands here. There's actually 4, but I just stood on the box a couple of seconds ago and launched everything into orbit and lost that one. So you're just going to have to imagine the other one in there. So anyway, as for what we get in here, we get a stand as per usual in one of these kits. Of course, you can see that section there in the middle is in a different color. That's because it came on a different runner to extend this. Next up, we have some optional armor, which clips onto the legs as well as onto the shoulders. As you can see, these are quite sticker heavy, so again, I would recommend painting them. They'll look so much better. As for alternate parts, we've got 2 different alternate hairs. That's the teal colored one you've seen already. Again, I mentioned in the unboxing that this is a pure teal, not the kind of blue you might be seeing. That's just because of the white balance of the camera. So once again, there is the one in green, and there is the one in brown. As for faces, we have 3 different alternate faces which include their own eyes. There's this standard face I showed you already. This one I painted just to show how much better it looks painted than when you use stickers. This version here is a surprised face. I've used the stickers on this one so you can see what those look like. There is no sticker for the mouth. And the last one in here then is this winky face, and this I didn't use the stickers at all so you can see what it looks like without stickers attached. As for hands, we've got those widespread open hands you've seen already, a pair of standard holding hands for holding the weapons, and we have a pair of fists in here, but like I mentioned, I misplaced the left one, so you're just gonna have to imagine that one in there. Moving on to the weapons, and just like I said in the unboxing, I love these weapons. They are so fun. Basically, they're all modeling tools, which is such a great idea for a mascot character. First off, we've got the pea spray gun. As you'll notice about these, they're all in the brown plastic of the matte brown sections of the model. So if you do want this in color, you will have to paint this too. Again, the biggest down point about this kit is the color accuracy. But like I said, the spray gun, which is an airbrush, feeds round to a compressor on the back via this little wire here. This is awesome attention to detail. I love this. Next up is the D Separator Shield. This is just a little block of brown plastic with a yellow sticker on it. And of course, this is modeled after a part separator. Again, awesome. And lastly, and by my favorite thing about this entire kit is this right here. This, the U-Nipper Javelin, is basically every Gunpla builder's most familiar tool, and that is a nippers. So this right here is literally a nippers on a stick, and what makes this even better is, it's articulated. It works. It won't cut anything out, but it works, and that is brilliant. So not only have they made this a far superior model than what we've seen before, they've actually just made it a lot more fun and a proper mascot. Again, this is an awesome little kit. Also, almost forgetting, she does have a little, well, not beam saber, but Gundam marker back here. Almost forgot that. So moving swiftly onto the articulation and starting from the head down. So at the neck we've got that standard double ball joint, one in the neck, one in the head. So there it is all the way down, all the way up, side to side, and full rotation. Almost forgot this ahoge up here. That has articulation as well, so you can move that around. That's a ball joint. Next, there is the arm all the way up, so it gets a little bit blocked on the armor. Let's pop that off and see what we get. So one more time, there it is all the way up, and that's as far as it'll go without popping out. We do have full rotation at that point. The shoulder armor can move separately. Rotation at the upper arm. There is the bend at the elbow. Perfect. We've got this little section in here which holds the shield and pretty much anything with your standard 3mm peg. So that's 2 points of articulation, one right there and one here. So that's pretty cool. In it goes. The wrist doesn't have the biggest range of motion. This is just a standard ball and socket, and you don't get a whole lot out of that besides a bit of flexion, extension, and that full rotation. The ab crunch is not crazy here. They could have done a little better with that. Side to side again is quite limited. That is just another standard ball and socket. They could have doubled that up to get a little bit more, but we might see more in future. But because it is a ball and socket, that does spin all the way around. At the hips, we've got a joint in here which allows the leg to pop up and down to give it a little more range of motion. Down for the motion, up to look a bit more natural. There is the kick all the way up to the front, so just about parallel to the ground. A bit blocked out to the back, but not too bad. It seems to circle around this section here as opposed to kicking right out to the back. We have pretty much the full splits there, almost not quite. Full rotation at the upper thigh. There is the bend at the knee, and you can't get much better than that. The ankle is what you see on a lot of action figures, and that is one of these style joints. So that literally gives you some forward, back, spin, as well as that little bit of side-to-side pivot. Not too bad. All in all, the articulation on here is solid, but it does keep up that old Gundam tradition of having next to nothing in the torso. There's no reason for that here, so I feel they could have done a little bit better with that, but on the whole, it's pretty damn good. So that is it for the review, and honestly I found it quite hard to throw an actual rating on this kit right here. Usually with Gunpla I will compare high grade with high grade, real grade with real grade, master grade with master grades, and so on, but this really has nothing to compare to. It is a figurized standard, so I could compare to the one figurized I saw before, which was a Goku, which was alright. Or I could try and compare it to the old high grade Gundam girls, in which it is light years better than, by far. And then at the same time, I could try and compare to relatively similar mecha girls that are on the market, which is mainly Kotobukiya kits, which are quite on the pricey side, which this isn't, and it's still, in my opinion, somewhat of a better product than those in a lot of regards. So all in all, I'm just going to give it a general comparison to all of those, the price point and so on, and this thing, surprisingly, it gets a gold. Just based on all the aspects about this versus its price point. It's got awesome accessories, it looks fantastic, the proportions are perfect, the face looks great, it looks like the character, the articulation is really good as well, and the price point is fantastic for something like this. So once again, I have to say, this gets a gold, and I am absolutely and utterly shocked. So far, that blue Bandai symbol seems to be an absolute blessing. 3 for 3, absolutely amazing kits so far. I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. And of course, if you want a Diver Nami of your own, check out that link down there in the description. Get yours at HobbyLink Japan. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla and other reviews. And as always, I'll see you next time.